Okay, so this is the status. I've changed the paint a couple times. I wanted to go with warm, moody colors instead of bright white. So this was the bright white. I thought it was too white. And then that's the color of the cabinet, which is much darker and makes it look funny. So I'm going to keep the cabinet color in the cream. That's the ceiling already there. And change the wall color to that color, which it might look a little yellow on the screen. But see the difference? It's not yellow. It's very cream, and it looks the same as the cabinet, but it's actually 2 shades lighter. So once everything's done, you'll be able to see that better. But that, to me, looks better than the pure white, which was actually called whipped cream. It was supposed to be kind of an off-white, but it looks pure white to me. Pretty color, but not the theme I'm going for in this one. So I had to repaint this. You can see the difference there. I'm going to reframe out the refrigerator because I put in a new fridge, which doesn't really fit. So I'm going to reframe that whole section. And then there's a little bit of damage at the bottom of these cabinets, and so I'm going to reframe the outside. You can get those thin boards at Home Depot, nail them on, and then just paint it. I will have to get new drawers because I threw the old ones away. They were gross. So that's that. So the navy, the cream, and then that's already the ceiling. So I'm planning to do a dark wood floor, which surprisingly was actually already in here by whoever pulled them out. This was the color it already had, and I wish they didn't pull them out because this is the color I'm going for. Obviously it can't be this thick. It has to be glue on because the slides in here are level with the floor, and so I tried putting a different one. The one I'm using, the other one, is 12 mm, and the slide would not go up and it would not go down over it. A 5 might, but I'm just going to do glue down in here, see how it goes. I'm going to reframe this entire wall here because it had a problem there at the bottom. The windows were not sealed, and then here the windows are actually screwed together by the frame on the inside, and if you unscrew the frame or those screws are loose, then it'll leak water. But if the screws are tight, it's not going to leak. But this one, it was kind of loose, so I cut out that area there and replaced it, but it still looks wonky. So I'm just going to reframe the entire wall with very thin, I think it's 1/8 of an inch board. You get it at Home Depot. It's like $20 a piece, and reframe that whole wall. So that's what I'm going to do, make it look better. And then I'll put the trim on the side. Floors will go in and trim around the floor, so you won't be able to tell. This is higher because I had the slide floor replaced. I think I showed a video of that. I did not want them doing it this way, but they did, and I don't feel like undoing it, so it's fine. It just has a little bit of a step. So that's what it looks like so far. And then instead of doing cream back here, because it was such a small room, even though it makes sense to do a lighter color in a small area. Oops. Oh. I didn't like this cream color in this room. It actually made it look really yellow, and I don't want to go yellow. The accents are going to be gold, and so some yellow undertones are fine. Once everything's in, it's going to look very pretty and warm. But for whatever reason, it looks yellow, like daisy yellow. I don't know why. So you can see the inside is kind of a yellow. I'm going to leave that. But I decided to do this in the navy, which will match the bottom of the kitchen, so it flows a little better. It'll match the outside kitchen cabinets, which are going to be this color. So it has a little better of a flow, I believe. And then, so it'll match the bottoms. So I think that that's probably better. And then in the bathroom will either be the navy blue half bath cabinet there, or I will do a wood color like this. Let's see. Oops. Oopsies. There we go. This color is going to go on that wall. I know I probably just made you really dizzy. So that's not staying. All right. Let's see. Okay, so that's probably better. Sorry. You can get these at Home Depot for $89 for 4x8, I believe. So this is going to go on this slide wall. And then this has to be reframed at the bottom, which will be the cream color. And then the build out that was originally here was taken out. I guess because they had a leak of some kind, I don't know, but I will rebuild a shelf right there so it has a little closet. And then that will be a bed. That will be a sitting area slash if they want to make it a bed. And then I'm going to actually put a desk here, but whoever buys it, if they wanted to take that out and put in a full-size bed here, it would fit and still have the two others in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 4 to 6 people could sleep in here, but I'm going to make it for 2. And then they can change it if they want. So there's the back of that cabinet. It will have a sliding door at the top like it used to have. I have to find one. I don't really know where to get that. The tub will stay. That's just going to be painted. I'm debating on whether to put wallpaper in here on that back wall instead of just paint, because it's so tiny in here. It's just going to be a bed. It's not going to be a walk around bed. It's going to have to be for the adults, unless I make the back room with a full bed, which could be for the adults, and then 2 children could sleep in here, but only 2 could sleep in here versus in that back room 4 to 6. So I'll just keep this as the full. So that back wall, I'm thinking about doing a pretty wallpaper with the browns and the creams and golds and blues in it. That might be pretty. I'll see. The other one has got the wallpaper themes in it, which you will see, and I'm excited about that one. It's going to be very, very delicate, whereas this one's going to be more warm and more masculine tones, creamies, brown, blues, golds, browns. So that is what it looks like so far. This wall will have to be reframed. Again, get this plywood at Home Depot for $20 a sheet, so that will have to be reframed. I have to check the plumbing under the tub, make sure there's no cracks in it. I'll probably hire a plumber to put stuff back together, but I did fill these holes with cement putty, and as you see back here, and this is from the manufacturer, which is ridiculous. I don't know if you can see that. See the nails? This is behind this pipe. Now these came from whoever lived here before and tried to hang something on the wall, and they screwed nails into the actual pipe. So if you're in an RV, you cannot use nails unless you know where the studs are. Just glue it on or tape it on or whatever. But yeah, so that was there, and it was poking the pipe, so I had to flatten those. There's another one here, which is away from the pipe, but I'll probably flatten that. And these are screws that actually go out to the outdoor kitchen. So you would be surprised at some things that manufacturers do that make no sense whatsoever, by putting your wet stuff by your electrical and putting your nails right next to pipes. So it's not a wonder that RVs end up having problems after a few years, because they're just not made right, one. But 2, if you get it like this, you can correct all that. All of this plumbing down here, I know it's a mess right now. All of the lines are getting replaced with brand new water heater, brand new water pump, brand new lines, because I've painted those, but they're all going to be brand new. And they had nylon lines in there, which will not be going back in. This is where the water heater goes. And then that under there is the furnace. Yeah, that's the furnace, which is fine. I'm supposing it works. I haven't turned it on because it's been so messy in here. But yeah, and this is a really nice fridge. You guys will see it once it's framed out and done. I need to angle it a little bit better. It's crooked. I will put another stove, and I debated not putting one in, just doing that as an entire countertop. But I think it would be nice to be able to bake, and you can't really plug in a countertop oven and use air conditioning and other things at the same time in an RV because you overload the system. I'm not rewiring. I mean, it could be done at this stage, but I'm not doing that. I am going to change the converter because it needs to be changed, but I'm not going to rewire. So I will put the propane stove back in so somebody can bake if they want to bake, and use propane and not have to worry about too much electrical. Obviously, it will have a microwave. I might do something else with that, but a microwave. And then the cabinet doors will go back on there. This has cabinet doors. I thought about leaving it open, but I'm going to put them back on just because somebody would probably need this as a pantry. Unless they don't live in here, then having it open might be nice. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm hoping to have all the paint actually done and the flooring laid in a week and a half. Because for me, when I paint a coat, I let it rest 2 to 4 hours. I sand smooth, wipe it off, do another coat, let it rest a day, sand smooth, vacuum wipe, paint again. So it takes me a long time to paint because I expect the paint to not peel, to stick forever. And I did use sprayers for this top one, but I'm not going to do that now because it's just really messy. And I've got the bases done, so I really don't need to do the sprayer anymore. So this back doesn't matter. I'm going to put backsplash there, so it doesn't matter if I get it all in different colors. It's going to have backsplash. So I don't really care about that. I thought about putting a fireplace under there, but it does not have the panel and the breaker section for a fireplace like the other one does, so I will not do that. I will leave that as cabinet so it can be storage, because this one doesn't have that much storage. The other one has a ton of storage, so I can take storage out and put in the fireplace over there, and it has space on the breaker box for it. So yeah, if you've got a Pioneer DTS 320, if you have window problems, the windows unscrew at the frame on the inside, and they hold together the window entirely. And if it's not tight, you'll have a leak. You don't need to replace the window. You don't need to replace the frame. You just need to make sure that your screws are tight and then maybe reseal on the inside portion. Other than that, I mean, there's no reason for anything like this to leak. Other models, I don't know. Other RVs, other than the ones I worked on, I don't know. But this one is pretty simple. And then this is a strap. I'm assuming it had something here. So I will go to Home Depot. You can get them a big one, a thick one that's wooden, and just put it down because that's what it had in there. And then I will probably, it's gonna have a door right here, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I mean, you can see the frame for the door was up there. So I gotta figure that out because I've tried looking for ceiling mounted frames for doors, and that's obviously doesn't have space for anything else. So I need to find one of those. And this can't be sliding because there's no room. It does have to be open and close, whereas the bathroom is sliding. So I'm gonna figure that contraption situation out. So when I do that, I don't have to fix this because that's where the frame's gonna go. So I'm not gonna bother with that. And then I have paint all of the ceiling from spraying, even though I had it taped. So now I gotta get all that off, which is why I took all of the ceiling stuff off, because I was getting paint on it anyway. And now I have all that paint to scrape off, which is, I've tried doing it, it hasn't come off yet, so I gotta figure that out. But yeah, and then the slide trim will get the wood that matches the floors and countertop. And there we go. This will likely be sell for around $25,000 to $28,000. It is a 2018 clean title, but that's because everything's brand new, including the plumbing. I mean, absolutely everything in here will be top quality, checked, brand new, and things will be done the right way. So people should not have problems, and then they will be able to keep the receipts and warranties on everything. So when you have insurance, when you buy something that's restored, ask for the receipts of anything that they did so that you can give it to the insurance and raise the value, because they will try to value it as low as possible. And if you've got an RV like this one will be, that everything's brand new, there's thousands of dollars put in to make it stunning and the right way and redone, then you're going to need to let your insurance company know that, so that they can increase the value of that trailer and you're not at a loss, because they may only pay you $15,000-16,000 for something like this, though it's worth $25,000 to $35,000 at any dealership or anyone else, because everything that's been done. And so you will have to show that to your insurance company. So just FYI, when you buy a used trailer that has been restored, renovated, redone, make sure your insurance company has the pictures of those things. I give befores and afters. I give befores and afters of all the plumbing, any electrical, so that the person can show their insurance company it was truly done. And if they do have a problem or a loss, they're able to get the full value that they paid for it. Because I do charge full value. And I get it. But yeah, I go the extra mile to make sure that people can insure. So if you restore your RVs and sell them, make sure that you give your buyers the receipts of items. Obviously, you don't want to give them receipts of everything because you are making a profit, but the items and taking pictures of befores and afters will help them with their insurance. And people don't mind letting you make a profit when you're the one that did the work. They don't mind it. If they like the product, you did the work. Even if you spent, let's say, $16,000 and sell it for $25,000, people don't mind. That's business. Car dealerships do it. Builders of real homes do it. So don't be afraid to show people the receipts, because you're in business to make money. And people understand that. If they were to do this themselves, then they might only pay $16,000 or $17,000. But people normally don't want to do it, don't have the time to do it, and really they don't want to, they just want it done. So they'll pay for that. Just like a builder, that house may have cost the builder $200,000 and they're selling it for $500,000. That's business. So don't be afraid to share that with your buyers, because they need it for insurance. Okay. I will be back with more stages. I will try to film. You don't need to see me painting, painting. And I've put one up about sanding and painting, so you don't really need to see that again. I will try to film the flooring going in, because I am going to do it. It's going to be glued down. And I will try to film framing this out. So if you've replaced your fridge and you've got this gap, you can reframe it with stuff at Home Depot like this. Very thin. This cost, and they're already pre-cut, but you might have to cut them, obviously. And this cost, I don't know, $10 or something. So yeah, that's how you do it. You don't have to take all the cabinets out. You just reframe what's already there, like what I've done here. Just reframe it, and then that doesn't matter, because countertop's going on there, so nobody can see that anyway. But the rest of it will get filled, sanded, primed, and painted. And I will show it to you when it's done. So that's part of it now. I'm not going to reframe this section because it doesn't need it. Just this section. And then when the countertop is over, you're not going to be able to tell. And the drawers, you won't be able to tell. All right. Bye.